Do you ever wonder if I'm really listening to you? You've prayed so many times, but you wonder, is God really hearing me? I want you to know that I understand this struggle. Even in the moments of silence, I am there with you. Remember the story of the persistent widow in Luke 18. She kept knocking at the door of an unjust judge until he finally answered her request. I used this parable to show you that persistence in prayer is not in vain. Her faith moved him, and her faith is what moves my heart too. When you pray, I am listening. It may seem like an answer is delayed, but your prayers are always heard. You might not see the outcome right away, but in my perfect timing, I will answer in a way that is best for you. Keep knocking, keep trusting, because I am near. Will you continue to have faith in the waiting? Will you keep believing even when the answer seems far off? You don't have to carry that burden alone. I know that forgiveness can seem impossible at times. When Peter asked how many times one should forgive, I said, 70 times 7. Matthew 18:21-22. This wasn't meant to be a literal number, but rather a way of showing that forgiveness isn't about counting offenses. It's about releasing the burden that unforgiveness places on your heart. Forgiveness doesn't come easily. You might feel that the wound is too deep, that the hurt is too much. But I forgive you. I forgave even those who crucified me, saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34. This kind of forgiveness sets you free. It's not just for the person who has wronged you. It's for your heart, your peace, your healing. Will you allow my love to heal your wounds? Will you trust me to help you release the burden of unforgiveness so that you can walk in the freedom I offer? Are you too broken for me to use you? Sometimes you might feel like your past mistakes disqualify you from being used by me, but that's not true. Look at Paul. He was once Saul, a man who persecuted Christians and caused harm, but I chose him to be one of my greatest apostles. His past didn't disqualify him. It was part of his preparation. As I told Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. I can redeem every part of your story, no matter how broken it may seem. Your past does not define you. It prepares you for the work I will do through you. Your mistakes are not wasted, but they are part of the story I am writing in your life. Will you let me use you despite your brokenness? Will you allow me to redeem your story and bring beauty from the ashes? When the storms are too much to handle, there will be times when life feels like a raging storm and you wonder if you'll ever make it through. But I am the one who calms the storms. Do you remember the time when my disciples and I were caught in a storm on the sea? The wind was fierce and the waves threatened to drown us. My disciples were terrified, but I spoke to the storm and said, "Peace, be still." Mark 4:39. And the storm obeyed. You may be in the midst of your own storm right now, whether it's anxiety, fear, or loss, but I am with you. I will not leave you in the chaos. Trust in me, for I am the Prince of Peace, Isaiah 9:6. I can bring peace to your heart, even in the midst of turmoil. Will you let me calm your heart as I calmed the storm? You are not alone. There may be moments when you feel like you're walking through life all alone, as if no one sees you or understands your pain. But I see you. I know your struggles, your heartaches, and your fears. Remember the story of Hagar, who fled into the wilderness feeling abandoned. But I saw her, called her by name, and promised to care for her. Genesis 16:13-14. Just as I saw her, I see you. No matter how isolated you may feel, I am near. You are never forgotten, and you are never alone. My love for you is steadfast and eternal. Will you trust that I see you, even when it feels like no one else does? Will you let my love comfort you in your loneliest moments? When you're waiting for a sign, remember this. We often look for signs, don't we? We want tangible proof, something that shows us we're on the right path. But the greatest sign I have given you is the cross. My death and resurrection are the ultimate signs of my love for you. I came to give you life, and I laid down my life for you so that you could live abundantly. John 10:10. You may be waiting for a miracle, but remember, the greatest miracle is the love I demonstrated on the cross. It is more than enough to sustain you, to guide you, and to remind you that I am with you always. Will you trust that my love is the greatest sign of all? Will you look to the cross and find all the proof you need? You are forgiven. There may be guilt weighing heavily on your heart, reminding you of past mistakes. But I want to tell you this: there is no sin too great for my grace. When Peter denied me, even after swearing he would never leave me, I forgave him. Luke 22:61-62. And I forgive you too. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes are forgiven. I died for all your sins, and my grace covers them all. You don't have to carry the weight of guilt any longer. Let go of the burden and walk in the freedom I offer you. Will you receive the forgiveness I offer? Will you let my grace transform you from the inside out? When you feel like giving up, I will be there. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when life is too hard, when the road seems too long, and you feel exhausted. But I am here, and I will never leave you. When Elijah was discouraged and wanted to quit, I met him in the wilderness, provided for him, and gave him strength to continue. 1 Kings 19:1-18. I will do the same for you. When you are weary, I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. When you feel like you can't go on, I will carry you. I will never ask you to walk this road alone. Will you trust that I will give you the strength to keep going?